Hey everybody, this is Chase with the Troy Walseth team. I'm going to show you some of our marketing strategies for houses, how we sell homes, and how we sell more homes than most people in Pinellas County. So Keller Williams is number one for a reason, and I'm going to go over some of those reasons for you right now. So number one, we're a team-based organization, and we have a team within a team called the Troy Walseth team. Right now we're up to 15 members. So the picture below isn't updated, we just have our logo. But the reason we use a team is because everybody has their own individualized and specialized roles. So we have somebody who focuses on listings, like me. So I'm really focused on the market, selling houses, whereas a buyer's agent is walking around touring, 3, 4, 5 houses a day. So we like to bring usually a buyer's agent, a listing agent, and an admin with to see a house before it goes on the market, so we get 3 different perspectives. So the next picture here is a map of Pinellas County. These are all the homes that our team specifically has sold in the last year. Our team sells more houses in a year than most single agents sell in their entire career, and more houses in a month than most agents sell throughout the entire calendar year. And that's not to brag for any reason, but this is a relationship business, so it's very important that we stay in constant communications and contact with other top agents who sell, the top 20% agents sell 80% of the houses out there. So being in constant communications with those agents helps us sell houses before they hit the market. It helps us sell them for top dollar and very quickly. This is what I get to look at when I walk into the office every single day. It's our Keller Williams belief system. So I'm not going to read all of them to you, but number one is the most important, and it's number one for a reason, and that's win-win or no deal. I have zero interest in taking your listing, sticking my sign in the yard, and then forgetting you exist. That doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do me any good. And another reason I don't want to just put a sign in your yard and market the heck out of your property is I don't want to just pick up buyers from obtaining your listing and never have you sell it. That's a win for me and not a win for you. Likewise, I'm not going to take a listing that's grossly overpriced, because that doesn't help either one of us. So it's just going to ultimately lead to a fractured relationships, and that's not what we want at all. So a little bit more about our team and Keller Williams. This is a map of who has sold what. It says 2014, but this is actually the last 3 years. The graphic's incorrect. So Keller Williams sold over 5,000 units in the last year, and $2 billion worth of volume, and that's more than any real estate agency combined, or any real estate agency out there, and more than the bottom 5 combined. So you have KW at top, RE/MAX is a little ways behind, Coldwell Bankers quite a ways behind, and Charles Rutenberg with all of their 4,000 agents is in 4th place. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. There's really only 3 reasons a house does or doesn't sell. 2 of those reasons are entirely up to you, and the 3rd reason is entirely up to me. So the first thing that's entirely up to you is price. I will help you decide what that price is going to be, but I'm not going to arbitrarily tell you that you need to list your house at $300,000, for example. We're going to use a method, we call it the 3-3-3 method. We're going to use 3 active properties in the MLS to show us what the competition looks like, because people don't look at just one house when they're going to look at property. They go look at 4, 5, 6 houses. So we want to know what other houses they're going to be seeing when they see your house as well, so we know where to price your home accordingly. We're also going to use 3 pending properties, or under contract properties they used to be called. That way we can see which houses are selling and how quickly they're selling. And then we're going to use 3, preferably more than 3, 5, 6, 7 sold properties only in the last 180 days, because anything older than that doesn't really help us out. It's a different market 6 months ago. So the last thing we're going to look at is sold properties in the last 180 days. And that's going to help us determine list price to sale price, days on market, days to contract, if there were any seller concessions given, that type of thing. It's going to help us predict where your house is going to sell, not necessarily tell us exactly where it's going to sell. Only the market can dictate that. So, pricing strategies. This is once your house is priced and on the market. If it's priced right, you are in a seller's market under $750,000. Absolutely a seller's market. There's low inventory. There's more buyers than there are houses. So if you're priced right, you will have offers. I don't mean you're going to have offers in 1 day or 1 hour, but it's very possible. If you price it right, you will have offers on your property relatively quickly. If you're getting a lot of showings but no offers at all, you're probably 4 to 6% overpriced. That's what the National Association of Realtors statistics tells us. If you're getting a low number of showings, you're usually 6 to 12% overpriced. And drive-bys, we really don't talk about people pulling up into your driveway and then just zooming out and leaving without looking at it, because that usually there's something other than price that is leading them to turn around, maybe condition. Number 2 reason a property sells is how the property shows, and that's entirely up to you as well. So what I mean by how it shows is not only that it's has professional photography, and we do offer that with our services. For certain properties that would benefit from it as well, we do a drone video, and that's also free with our services. So professional photography, a video walkthrough, and a drone video doing an overhead of the property or taking a look at the waterfront all around the property can do wonders for marketing. So how it shows online is up to us, but how it shows in person and during that walkthrough and in the pictures is up to you. So here's a couple photos of some before and after properties. Decluttering is the number 1 piece of advice that I can give you as far as making a house show nicely and show presentably. You want to make it as light and bright and open as possible. It should smell nice, it should be clean, it should be decluttered entirely, so getting everything off the table, everything off of furniture, moving furniture away from the middle of the room so you have a clear walking path, opening up windows like you see up here, and then opening all the curtains in the house. Help it be light and bright. Here's another quick example, just decluttering. It's free. It takes some sweat equity, but it's the most important thing you can do for your house. And then another reason, or another category that falls under how the property shows and how it's up to you, is how often it's able to be shown. We want to make it as easy and convenient as possible for a buyer to get in and see your house. Now, that doesn't mean bothering you at 8 in the morning on a Sunday, but within reason, we want people to be able to get in on short notice and without putting up too much of a stink about it. So number 3, and what I'm going to spend the majority of my time on, is how a property is marketed, and that's the 3rd reason a house does or doesn't sell, and that's entirely up to me and my team. So again, we're a very statistics-based organization team. We use the National Association of Realtors profile of buyers, and we look at how buyers find their home, and we specifically allocate that percentage of marketing dollars to how a buyer finds their house. That way we know exactly how our marketing dollars are spent to the best of their ability. So the number 1 way, just by a very slim margin, that people find their house is a real estate agent, and that's 38% of the time. 38% of the time, a buyer calls up their agent that they've known for a long time, and they say, hey, I'm looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath house in Seminole that has a pool under $250,000. They say, okay, let me take a look. I find some properties on the MLS or on Zillow or whatever it is, and I send them to my buyer. They end up purchasing one of those properties. That's what happens 38% of the time. So 38% of the time is a pretty big number, which is why I emphasized how important it is to have those top agent relationships in one of the slides previously. We do electronic flyers to all top 20 100% of agents as soon as a property goes online. So they get a brief rundown of your property, not just the quick snapshot of what it is in the MLS. Because there's a lot of listings filtering in and out of the MLS all the time, we don't get to see everything that comes on the market. We send paper flyers out throughout our offices. We have 9 offices locally with just over 1,100 agents, so they're all going to get paper flyers and electronic flyers. We do virtual tours. We do additional photographs that they're not able to get on the MLS. We do a video walkthrough and obviously the drone video. We also very often attend realtor and office meetings, so we'll go down to Pro that has a pitch session once a week, and we pitch our off-market or coming soon listings to, and this is not to just Keller Williams agents, this is to all agents. We don't care who brings us a buyer as long as they do bring us a buyer. So not only are real estate agents our competition, they're also our co-workers. So it's important to have strong relationships with other real estate agents because they sell your house 38% of the time. Online marketing, which is very soon going to surpass real estate agents. 37% of people find their house online, then they call up a real estate agent, then they end up purchasing that house that they actually found. So they send them a list of houses they want to see. We recognize how important this is, so we have an insane online presence. So one way that we do this and that we make sure that we know what we're doing is we have the Internet Marketing Specialist designation from the Ben Kinney team. All this means is we fly up 3 agents every single year to a little place called Bellingham, Washington, where Ben Kinney owns about 60% of his market share. So in a town of 100,000 people, 60,000 of them are Ben Kinney's clients. That's insane. For example, I think the top agent in all of Pinellas County has like a 0.4 market share, as opposed to Ben Kinney's 60%. So what Ben has taught us is different tips and tricks on how to market properties and how to get your property found online. So this is where your property goes once we take the listing. We send it out to brokerage websites, national portals, classified services, search engines, and social media. The brokerage websites, pretty important. If you list with Keller Williams, your property will show up on every single one of these other brokerages' websites, and any brokerage that has a website, we know how to get your listing put on their website. So if you list with RE/MAX, it's not just going to be on the RE/MAX website, or it's not exclusive to the RE/MAX website. There's a way that we can get your listing onto all the other brokerage websites. National portals, I guess some of the most important ones that you've heard of, Active Rain, Homes.com, Zillow, and each one of these has its own little tip and trick to feature your listing. For example, Homes.com right here. If you take 30 or more pictures, Homes.com will bump your listing up to a featured listing status. And why that's important is the MLS only allows 25 pictures. So a lot of agents stop at or below 25 pictures because they don't think that there's use for any of those other pictures. Well, Homes.com needs 30 or more in order to feature it. Another free tip or trick is Zillow. So there are 2 ways that Zillow features a listing. One requires that you write them a great big check every single month, and we make sure that we do that. We want to be a featured agent, premier agent, and have your listings featured on the Zillow website, because that is a way that a lot of buyers find their home. The second way Zillow features that listing is they've gotten big on video. So we make sure we do a Zillow video walkthrough of all of our listings. Once it goes live on Zillow, it'll take 48 hours to actually go live. But once it is live, we're able to come back out, do a short 2-minute video walkthrough of your home, and then Zillow will feature that video walkthrough on your listing, so it's more easily found. Classified services, just a couple of them. Craigslist and Facebook are really the 2 big ones. We do still catch a lot of our buyers on Craigslist. So Facebook is one of the best ways that you can advertise properties now, not only paid advertising and pay-per-click ads, but also free advertising via Facebook groups, or as our team calls them, squeeze pages. So every single day, and again, we have 15 agents on our team, we post squeeze pages on dozens and dozens of different Facebook groups. And these squeeze pages help capture potential buyers for all of our listings. It's probably too much detail, but it is something that we do to proactively prospect for buyers for all of our listings. Search engines is the next way that people find property. Again, similar to Facebook, we use pay-per-click ads on Google, but we also make sure that we own our first 5 pages of Google, and we spend a lot of money and time on search engine optimization early on in our career, so it's not quite as expensive as it is for somebody new. If you've ever Googled yourself, you'll find a plethora of things. We know exactly what ours says because we own our first 5 pages of Google, and the reason that's important is because if they're able to find us and find us on the beach and us in Seminole, then they're able to find your listing as well. So Keller Williams spends $1.5 million a month on technology, and mobile technology is one of the most important things that's up and coming about the real estate market. Our app has a geolocation service where if somebody's out driving around and they're looking at their house, instead of using GPS, they can use our Keller Williams app and click nearby homes. So if they see a sign out front, instead of calling the real estate agent on the sign, they just click nearby homes and your property shows up. That's really cool. So Keller Williams agents also add value as a part of an international and national referral source. So we have, and this just needs to be updated as well, we have over 150,000 agents worldwide in 25 different countries. So Florida is a destination state internationally and also nationally, but Pinellas County is a destination spot throughout this geographical location of Florida because people want to be close to or on the beach. So the reason that's important is because we get a ton of referrals both locally from our other 8 offices in the Tampa Bay area, but we also get a ton of referrals from Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, from snowbirds, where our population nearly doubles during the winter months. Social media. We talked a little bit about Facebook. Your home will have a YouTube video. We utilize Snapchat to stay close with our database, and Twitter as well. Signs and flyers. One of the most underutilized portions of marketing is full color 5-photo flyers. The reason these are so important is because, as I mentioned before, people aren't just looking at one house and deciding whether or not to move forward on that house. They're looking at 5, 6, 10 houses. So having a full color flyer with just a little bit of information on it, as opposed to an MLS sheet with all of the listing information, paragraphs and paragraphs, and one tiny little black and white picture in the corner, people will remember your house when they grab a full color flyer that'll be sitting out on your counter. These are printed for open houses. These are printed for clients who are just coming in to see your house with their realtor, so they can take it and they have something to remember, something tangible to bring with them to remember your house above all the others. Our team loves open houses, and we don't do open houses like just throw a sign in the yard and hope a whole bunch of people show up. We boost our open houses on social media. We use between 10 and 15 signs to direct traffic in from major streets, and we make sure that we're getting 5 people through every open house that we do. Only 7% of buyers actually purchase their home at an open house, but that 7% gets you closer to 100% total for your sale. Some other forms of marketing that we do are print advertising. Only 3% of people purchase their property via print, and then word of mouth, another 3%. So we ask that you do share some of our posts about your listing on social media, because you may have a buyer who's looking for your house or to be in the neighborhood. And then we always ask, so we can improve our services to you, is there anything another agent said that they would do that I forgot to mention? And this is an important question because I want to address any concerns you have or questions you have about our marketing. The last thing that I'll talk about is commissions and marketing fees. And this is everybody's favorite part. So commission is entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. For example, if you pick a 7% commission, each one of these dollar bills represents 1% of the commission. So how that's broken down is the agent that brings the buyer gets exactly half of whatever commission that you choose. The reason this is important is some of the larger agencies decided that, well, we're taking the listing, we're doing all the work, you just happen to bring me a buyer for my listing, we're going to keep 4 or 4.5%, and we're going to pay out 2 or 2.5%. Well, that doesn't bring agents in to see your house, and it's also not fair to the buyer's agent. So if they're going to bring us a buyer, we pay exactly half of the commission that you choose to the buyer's agent. And then the listing side keeps half as well. One of those dollar bills goes to our brokerage, Keller Williams. One goes to marketing and servicing the listing, all those big checks to Zillow and our professional photographer and our transaction coordinator, cost some money. And then one is what I live on and get paid for my time working on the sale. And then this guy usually takes half of my check as well. So here are some shots of MLS listings, and the reason these are important is not only because we want to incentivize somebody to show your property above all the others, but this is really how real estate agents decide how to show property. So they look at a couple of things. One, how much they're going to get paid. 3% right by single agent here. And then this is Lockbox Electronic. They just click one button and they can show the property. Oh, but it says this one's a short sale. So that means this property is probably going to take 9 months to sell. I think I'm probably going to skip this. It's easy to show and they're paying 3%, but a short sale is not worth my time. So the next one looks like call owner. So I have to deal directly with the owner. Oh, but they're paying 3.5% commission. Yeah, that's probably worth my time. This one also paying 3.5%. I just have to use the request showing button right down here, and that's going to be easy. And then they stumble across the next one that's paying out 2.5%, requiring 24 hours notice. The listing agent must accompany. That one's probably going to the bottom of the pile. Sorry, not sorry. These agents are, think of an agent as somebody who wants to spend the least amount of time and energy on showing a property and getting a check as fast as they can. It's unfortunate that it is this way, but you have to be realistic when you're listing a property, and that's why we always leave it in the hands of our client to select the commission that works best for them. Lastly, we use a program called .loop for all of our electronic signatures, so if everything sounds good, I will have my assistant Tasha send you over the electronic paperwork, and you click a few buttons and we'll be ready to list in 24 hours. Thanks a lot, guys. This is Chase with Keller Williams.